Okay guys, welcome back, and we are gonna be getting into round number 2. This time it's going to be Quantel versus Vivid. And if I remember correctly, I've been able to check out a few Quantel games before, especially from the C Games replay pack I did send out a few months back. Vivid, in the meantime, is a very familiar name to me from a few replays sent in by the community, and he is one of those Australian players playing right now in the Aodai Weekly. Special shout out actually to Vivid. He is also streaming right now, so if you want to see his perspective, it is on his Twitch, which is Vivid. What's your Twitch? What's your Twitch again? Twitch again. I plug. Just like quickly, I plug. What's your Twitch? Because he's streaming right now, guys. But as we're waiting for that information, this is our map boom. Everdream gonna be first map. Purity Industry number 2. And Eternal Empire will be number 3. There you go with the bands down below: Nightshade, Golden Wall, Zen, and Simulacrum. Seems like though we are gonna be getting ready to go. R also. Yes, we are ready to go for game number 1. Appreciate these guys waiting on me to get ready for the action, as well as you guys hopping on over, waiting on over, enjoying the games here and now. But yeah, Mr. Vivid is streaming all his stuff. I think that's Vivid SC or Vivid underscore SC, one of the two. But hey, that's how it goes. Oops, sorry about that. Lights hit me up. If you need permissions, I don't like spam bots eh. Twitch.tv/vivid s underscore sc. There you go. Twitch.tv/vivid underscore sc for his POV. There you go, guys. If you want to check that one out alongside our stream. But hey, this is round number 2 right now. I think I forgot to change up the round itself, but yeah, this is gonna be a round 2 match between Quantel as well as Vivid. Both sides moving on forward after beating both Uplai as well as Gyang Neo. But hey, it's time to see. Not a mirror matchup. We are gonna get something a little different. PVZ coming our way. Oh, never mind. We have to because we are on the wrong server. But yeah, here you go, guys. So we'll just set things up, and we'll be right back for our first game. Okay, guys, seems like it's time to get ready for our action. And round number 2, gonna be coming our way in just a bit. It is going to be Everdream first, as we said earlier on. Purity Industry and Eternal Empire are gonna be rounding things up on our 3-map affair. And this is Aodao Weekly number 28. It's been 28 weeks of Aodao. It's been a while since they actually opened things up for the SEA scene. But hey, we are gonna get into it. First things first, introducing our players. On the bottom left, we got the purple Protoss, that is Quantel. And his opponent. On the top right, here for the red hand side, it is gonna be the Zerg of Vivid. So if I remember correctly, if I got my countries right, Vivid is from Australia. If that is what I remember from that. In the meantime, for Quantel, he was a representative actually in the SEA games that we were able to talk about, and he was from the nation of Indonesia. So really one of the best actually Indonesian players playing that Protoss. Fun to see both the Indonesian scene as well as the Singapore scene. They both like playing Protoss a lot, that's for sure. In the meantime, for the PH, it's the fun thing about PH, it's like Terran Protoss on the lower ranks, and then it becomes suddenly all Zerg basically on the higher ones. But let's get into the action already. Pool gonna be coming online. Hatchery first approach here from Vivid. It realizes there's gonna be no cheeses whatsoever, as it is going to be a natural gate here from Quantel. Setting things up looking to go for a second base, trying to keep up on the economy. And when you are playing against Zerg, that's pretty much all you can do in these instances. And again guys, quick little shout out, quick little plug to Vivid. He is streaming right now at Vivid_SC on Twitch. So you do want to watch that alongside our stream as well. We're going to be seeing his decisions, his actions in a real time, or is it delayed? Whatever. It's one of the two. Cybercore though will go on up, standard build here and now for our Protoss. We'll go for that second gas. He does have an extra worker on the assimilator for some reason, but hey, you want to get a little more gas, that's not how you do it. Not going to be as efficient, but it is a little cute in this action. Everdream LE though, a lot of high ground to try and take in the middle of the map. Ramps are very, very important to try and get on through. But on the defensive side, if you are able to actually set on up and pellet from down below, it makes such a big difference. On the other side, if you're on the attacking end and you are already on even ground against your opponent, well, it's quite easy to overrun the opposition. So anyway, for Quantel, he was gonna start things off with an Adept. Adept harass, pretty potent in many ways to go. And here for Quantel, if he gets some really good shades into the middle line, gets them out before the Queen gets the KO, well, that is just gonna be pesky play all throughout. Quantel looking around, potentially looking for a potential proxy pylon or two. But in the meantime, more drones coming online here for Vivid, playing the macro game. He knows that his Protoss opponents will just let him do this unless he really becomes too greedy and over drones. Looking for a little bit of a mix and match. Zerglings are a good way to strike at lone probes moving around the map. And with, of course, the Overlord on top of this small little cliff. No vision whatsoever for Quantel, but Vivid sees exactly what is going on. And honestly, I don't understand how that makes sense. It makes sense in terms of the game because it's higher ground, so the ramp difference basically. But in real life, if you look up on top, you're gonna see a tentacled monster pretty much raining down upon you. You might be a little scared and might want to shoot it. But hey, the Stalker gonna do that, fending the Overlord off. In the meantime, here comes Vivid right now, bringing in a few more Zerglings at the very start. Stalker though in position, Adept in behind, getting some more bonus damage. Pretty tanky stuff there with our Quadricep. Still, Queen in position already, going to make sure that these three bases are as maximized as possible. Vivid though, very low on minerals as well as gas. Seems like he really is being as efficient as possible. Getting as many upgrades, getting as many things as he wants. And in the meantime, Roach Warren here coming online for our Red Zerg. Transitioning to Roach is going to be a good way to deal with the Wall Ravager. Is going to be so potent as it's raining on down with the Bile. And at the same time, Roach is very cost efficient against Stalkers in the first place. We'll see though how Quantel is going to respond. Harassment already online here and now. No blink whatsoever as of yet, but Quantel is feeling the confidence. He goes all in with these Stalkers already. Warp Prism. Gonna be bringing a few reinforcements as well, making sure that there is someone to frontline for these ranged units. In the meantime, Queen's already looking to get in position, surround potentially in the cards, but microing into that Warp Prism, making sure that is safe and sound. By this point in time though, thank you for the raid there to Lat-X Fear. These Zealots trying to run on away. The Broodlings taking the front of the damage at the very start. Allows his Zerglings to go for this round, and that really makes a difference as a Zerg player. I've seen Zerg players who just go for the A move, let them fight in the front lines, but the better Zerg players can go for this round, make an encircle against their opponent, and make sure that there is no escape. Anyway though, we'll see how this is gonna go, as Quantel has bought enough space for himself to get a third base. He is in the lead right now with the army count, just to make sure that he can actually build on up for an expansion. In the meantime, Vivid looking to try and get the lead back in terms of base numbering, but this is very difficult right now for Vivid because he is under a lot of harassment. Warp Prism going for the drop on into the main base. Can it survive? 9 HP and a dream! Gonna be floating on away here in the same map. For Vivid though, a little difficult when he is behind on bases. He's not going to have enough production into this one. Lair online, sure, and he has a small advantage in terms of workers, but the army count right now, I feel like if Quantel is going to find the opportunity, he can just go for the A move all in and just decide to destroy his opponent, who is long distance mining into this one. Luckily though for Vivid, he didn't really lose drones from that third base, so as soon as the hatchery is online, everything is a-okay and ready to go. For now though, Quantel defending here on the western side. And if I remember from the history of Quantel, there have been also times where he did play in qualifiers for WESG. He's been around the SCA scene and really trying to make a name for himself beyond the Indonesian community. And that's worked out to a degree. I know his name. And even though I'm not famous or anything, I'm like, what do you call this? I'm a little ignorant, I guess I'd say. Or I'll just say new. I'm a little new to what's been going on, and this is a very familiar name to me in terms of who's who. Really goes to show, a lot of hard work, even in the lowest scenes, do go a long way. Anyway though, Ravager's gonna be into the cards. As we said before, Bile gonna be pretty potent, especially against Quantel and his composition, but Immortal's gonna be in behind, and that'll pack a pretty solid punch, really just hammering home onto the armored plating there. Now here comes the Bile, look the rain on down, doesn't connect. In the meantime though, Charge Lot's already ready to go, so these Zealots gonna have that speed burst, and Quantel looking pretty strong into the attack. Vivid has to go around and try to get in circle on, but the Warp Press and bring in more and more reinforcements. Zealots just standing by onto the behind, but finally it's time to go for the attack, pushing on forward. It seems like Quantel didn't want to throw those Zealots out against the Roaches and the Ravagers at the first place due to the fact that they can go for the stutter step for the charge, allowing them to close the gap, forcing these Ravagers to go all the way to the eastern side of the map and allowing Quantel to take this third base for free yet again. Force fields right now, this time no escape for the drones. And Vivid looking worse for wear into this one. Quantel again, making sure these charge lots count. And in the meantime, Infestor's actually brought out here by Vivid. +1 though might be a good upgrade here and now. And what do the Infestors have? They can go for the Fungal. It will slow things down, but it isn't as potent as it was before. No Infestor turn as well to be in the frontline Fungal right now, connecting onto the Cascade. Good use of the map here and now. And without Blink, that will allow Vivid to actually push on forward. Quantel losing out in terms of members. Beautiful spellcasting there, courtesy of our Red Zerg. And in the meantime, the Queen gonna come on out yet again just to die. This hatchery will go down pretty sure, but Vivid is able to hold just a little bit. Never mind though, the Zealots come on from the flank instead. GG is called, and that was a beautiful way to turn things around in favor of Quantel at the tail end. That defense from Vivid using the Fungal to really put a stop in that hole, but Quantel able to make it work, gets the Warp Cycle on, and Zealots come to save the day. Huge ending there from our Protoss player, and very well done between our two players. And Quantel, man, taking a map first against Mr. Vivid. So let's quickly update our scoreline. Victor goes to the spoils, and he will actually take his name on our BO3 board. Quantel taking map number 1 out of the 3-map affair. Seems like we are gonna get Purity and Industry, if I recall correctly, for our boy Quantel. But there you go. Yeah, we are gonna get confirmation. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Light. Shoutouts to Light, man. Big shoutouts. How do you just? Oh, that's how you do it. Thank you so much. Like, how? I'm just trying to figure out how these things go quickly. There's some more if you want to with it. Okay. Yes. That is very useful. You know, those are things that are very useful in a broadcast, guys. You say more things that people don't know, and you're like, oh, big brain. Actually, decent caster for once. But it is what it is. And let's quickly refresh this one. Ready to go. Yeah, okay, we good. Let's get into game number 2. I'm very excited. I've been having a lot of fun in this tournament so far. And so far so good. Yeah, Vivid versus Quantel, game number 2. If Quantel takes it, he is going to face off against neutrals on the bottom side. And meantime, on the top end, it's Fu versus Just Simon and Chappie versus Hydrea. So a lot of interesting matchups coming our way very, very soon. But hey, guys, this is still round number 2. We are going to have a semifinals and we are going to have a final. It is only single elimination, though. So you really have to tune on in to see all the action coming your way. But speaking of the action, it's time to get into the yin and yang of the SC2 map pool. It's Purity and Industry for game number 2. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go into another action, into another map of StarCraft 2. Introducing first, on the eastern side of Purity and Industry, it is the purple Protoss, Quantel. Indonesia's proud boy, showing on up, taking that first map advantage, but his opponents, not one to take this lying down, coming on in from down under. The Australian scene's very own Vivid on the red Zerg. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, as we said before, it's a pretty hype matchup. One of the SCA games representatives, one of the best from the Indonesian scene versus one of the best in the Australian scene, trying to really climb the ladder. The Australian scene, I feel, is a more centralized, spicy area. For AU, I mean, they're all in one place compared to SCA where we're all in different countries. So it really is a higher competitive field, and you could say Vivid is really one of them up on top. At the very least top 20 from just a spitball. That is just basically a spitball. I think I can get a proper estimate from a legal lap. He is number 10 actually in terms of that stats. He joined OSC Elite way back then, so you can see from the tag. And if I remember correctly, he's still part of the org. If this is correct, he's still part of the org as a content creator or ambassador, because the team itself is no longer active. If I'm correct, yeah. If I'm correct on that. And speaking of OSC, this tournament would not be possible without OSC. You can see the logo on the top right. If you want to support the tournament itself, use the command Matcherino down below. It is !Matcherino. You can put $1 in to the prize pool for free by using the code in the chat. But anyway, it's time for us to crack the code into this game. The eastern side of Quantel. Gonna be going for that second base. In the meantime, Vivid gonna be doing the same. Oh yeah, so there you go. I quickly read on up. So it was Demi and Vivid who were the last members of OSC, and they became basically brand ambassadors for OSC itself. Since they're still tournament organizers, they're still very important in the scene. Well, you gotta get someone to represent you from time to time. Anyway, though, we are gonna get into the action yet again. A little bit of a chrono boost right there, right then. Getting a few more probes along the way. Adept gonna be into the cards as well. And in the meantime, a Stargate. Hey, Quantel! Okay, guys, listen. Here on Purity and Industry, it's very simple to make a base. It tells you where to put missile turrets, or in this case, cannons. It tells you where to put starports, or in this case, the Stargate. Come on, bro. Come on. Move. Okay, it's not happening. It also tells you where to put the factory, actually. Does it tell you where to put the barracks? Is this that? No, it's still the factory. Cringe. But it's fun to see maps like designed like this. It really reminds you of the good old campaign days, basically. When you start out on StarCraft, you don't go straight into multiplayer. You're like, okay, I wanna check out what StarCraft 2 is all about. How you get into RTS basically is single player usually. But right here, right now, Quantel will decide to run on by. We haven't really talked about much here on Purity and Industry, and this is the problem. He does get 2 drones, but it immediately dies. Because here on Purity Industry, inhibitor zones are on the field. And sure, this allows a harassment from the Stargate to come very, very quickly, but at the cost of no safety whatsoever, no safety nets. As soon as you cross these inhibitor zones, you are in position to get damaged by range units, even here on the north-hand side. And at the same time, if you try to retreat, that is just gonna be punishment, because the slow zone is pretty hefty. An extra hit or two gonna connect, and basically that is why that Oracle will go down. But Quantel gonna do it again. When first you don't succeed, try again. And look to make things happen, gonna look to see if he can bridge that gap and go on over. But I feel like Vivid should be on this. He already has a queen in position, shots keeping on coming. Spore Crawler gonna be there as well. And these Oracles are quite frail. They can easily die at the wrong micros. In the meantime, though, the Phoenix is going to be hunting those Overlords. And overall, the Oracle timings here from Quantel not really getting as much as he would like. But hey, it has provided him a safety net. He is on 2 bases. He is able to get a wall on in. In the meantime, though, Vivid going for 3. And he also mixes things up, actually. Our Protoss playing the ground game, goes for the Adepts. It really was just harassment there from the Oracles. And these Adepts look to make a big difference with the Shades, with the mobility, and with the damage against light units. Now it's going to be the Ghost of the Past going for the present. Moving on over to the top right. Looking to make it through to potentially that natural, but the Queen's already on it. Running on in yet again, but with the creep in position that allows... Oh, the surround on the 1. The Adept gonna go down with a hail of regrets. Still though, Quantel trying to go for the harassment. In the end, that is going to be the strike force going down. But in behind all of this, third base being built here by our Indonesian player. Sentry gonna be here as well, potentially useful for the force fields. Structure placement is there, beautifully done here by Quantel right now, surrounding basically what he has on the low ground. But it might be not enough. That is still too many Zerlings going on away. Sentry gonna get caught as well by the funnel, but Vivid feels like, hey, that's pretty much. Oh no. Quantel, you gotta defend, you gotta make sure everything is fine, because the Artosis Pylon might go down here. It will get a huge cancel in terms of a lot of production. Immortal will go on out though. And oh, it's still gonna be fine. There's a pylon in behind, but the front of the gate will be knocked down already. Seems like the light has turned on down. Probes forced to be pulled. And apparently Vivid able to make things work there. It looked pretty dicey because he was sacrificing a lot of Zerglings just to get the kill onto the low ground, but he got a little bit of an opening. Small mistake there from Quantel, costing him. He didn't have something in position as well, and in the end, a run on in, shutting down the means of production, slowing down whatever Quantel wants to do, and Vivid now taking the lead in terms of the macro game. He has 3 base right here right now. He wants to go for the 4th though, because being on even against Protoss is a pretty difficult struggle. So a little more saturation here for Vivid. That's where he is in the lead, but at the same time, when you're a Zerg player, you have one mantra. You always want to be 1 base ahead of your opponents. It makes such a big difference. The hatchery is your means of production. That's where all the larvae come from. The mommy larva and the daddy larva love each other so much, and they make new larvae by the hatchery. And then you add a few more potential resources to your side. Having a 4th hatchery means you have a 4th base up and running, having a 4th place, a node for your gas and minerals to come. But by this point in time, it seems like Quantel, unrelenting, he sends in those oracles and gets a number of takedowns actually. But check out that word count real quick, 12-6, and a lot of kills right here, right now, onto those Zerglings in the first place. By this point in time, though, onto the north-hand side, Roaches gonna be into the field yet again. In behind though, Spire actually gonna be in the cards here and now for Vivid. Interesting enough, he is on Roach deck, but he still does go for the Mutalist approach. Or this can actually decide to go on Brood Lords instead. We'll see. We'll see what he's gonna do with the Spire. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for a little bit of harassment with Mutas first and then transition into Hive Tech afterwards. But interesting enough, oh! Overlord's gonna be exposing it, has that Ventral Sacs. In the meantime, Warp Prism gonna be in position. It's a slow but steady move on forward. Templar Archive, so ready to go. High Temp gonna be in the cards here. And a Photon Cannon in position, but it feels like Quantel is taking this a little too lightly because Roach is gonna get dropped on down. One of them gonna go on over. Warp Cycle from some Zealots should be enough to shut things down. And in the meantime, a little bit of brawl into the front. Oracle is getting in position yet again. The Roach is now hounding the Zealots in the first place, really trying to get the chase down overall. Anyway though, this really is just basically the defense force here and now for Quantel. He has gone into charge lots if we haven't really noticed as of yet, because it was such a good component of his victory earlier on. Seems like a little bit of waste though of the units in front because the Immortals are just blocking everything. And not the best bundle here and now. Quantel not getting maximum DPS because everyone else in behind is stuck in line, stuck in traffic. Basically just another day in the Philippines. Zealot so pesky. It really is unrelenting here for Quantel. He just wants to cleave on over. He wants to be as edgy as possible. Slice and dice action. It's like a kitchen table having all those scars from how much you're cooking, and the hatchery gonna look like a really ugly meaty lasagna as here comes more and more Zealots onto the natural. They go 3 bases right here right now for Vivid. He's losing out in terms of tech as well, but in the meantime seems like Blickstalker gonna be in the cards. 2 battles, 2 fronts. Vivid has to decide how he's gonna defend this because Quantel is just running rampage on his own home. And for Vivid, he is already 1 map down. This is an elimination bracket here and now. Single elims. When you lose, you go home. We'll see you next week in Aodai. That's how it's gonna go. But you know what else is gonna go down? That poor Archon taking all the brunt of the damage. And it seems like this attack, not really the strongest. Oh, the Warp Prism goes down. And this has to be it. This has to be the tempo from Quantel stopping. But he still has a lot of army here. Vivid will need to decide where to concave on. He has to sacrifice his space right now. There is no way for him to defend this with the amount of army he has in position. But right here, right now, they finally come on over. It seems like the group getting out of that social distancing and out of the quarantine, moving on over to work together yet again. And this is going to be a mop-up on the army. Archons, though, not going down without a fight. Good trades here, and now pretty even in terms of that army count. Vivid, though, actually losing on everything. Never mind, as here comes the reinforcements, courtesy of Quantel in behind. More Zealots onto the natural yet again. Vivid doesn't have much workers anymore, and that is GG called. Seems like the cycle was enough to take the lead, take the advantage in terms of that pure fight. Vivid versus Quantel, kinda still okay, because Vivid was able to concave on over, bring everyone together like a family picnic. But behind that, not enough workers, and that is victory for our Protoss player. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is our series. Quantel will take that one 2-0. Very well deserved by our Indonesian player. And showing the might of the Protoss, it was very interesting to see him actually go for the oracles at the very start, especially due to the nature of how the inhibition zones go, but it was really just a distraction. The adepts able to really make it count on the other bases, and that's where Quantum was able to shine. It wasn't about the Stargate, it was about what he did with his gateways, with his warp gates, with the pressure in the front line, and well played there for Quantel. Here we go with a quick little recap. We didn't get to see Eternal Empire anymore. Highly unfortunate, but it is what it is. Quantel taking 2-0 in this screen. So guys, we will wait on, try to see what round 3 match is going to be moving on over, and we will be right back with the Aodai Weekly number 28. It has been a pleasure to bring you the action so far, and I'll see you guys really, really soon.